He just got a technical issue. He needs to reload some stuff.
All right. We're waiting for the... I would simply mention that there is a resolution about appointment to the TC3 Board of Trustees later in the agenda, and if we want an executive session for that.
And I have to share that while that may seem like an easy way to generate additional revenue, it is not Syracuse or Saratoga or Albany or Rochester, Buffalo, Corning, all of the communities that can host that same business. When meeting planners are looking and comparing apples to apples, what we have to offer, you please reconsider making that increase. This is not the time. This is not the business climate. And if we want to help our community succeed and continue to...
I would only say that we've had two very successful EBC, Expanded Budget Committee meetings. One last week and one last night. We'll have another one tonight. We've been hearing about that. Nick Helmholt from our planning department.
Hey. All right. Good morning. Thanks for getting this on your agenda today. Covered in that memo, intentionally, I'll say. Also just due to time constraints.
Excuse me, Nick, but just remember, we're also
distribution of our county's hotel room inventory. We effectively have two tax rates for lodging, room tax lodging in the county because the city has its own tax. So own room occupancy tax just for hotels and lodging within the city. This is used exclusively to support the downtown conference center average when you take into consideration sales tax, which in New York State also applies to overnight lodging. Within the state, we're pretty much right smack in the middle in terms of 1.5% to 7%, and there's a little bit of analysis on that. So a little bit of the background history and comparison, where we stand sort of. The more sensitive piece of the market really is the group travel segment. This is folks who are looking to bring larger room blocks into to visit a location, whether it's for a meeting, a conference, just fresh off its 1-year anniversary Ithaca Downtown Conference Center. I think there is a potential negative impact to increasing the room tax on that facility's ability issue. Memo closes with just a very, I'd say, round estimate on the high side of what you might expect for room tax to generate annually at $835,000.
Respond to that. We're glad to have you. That's fine.
Breakfast. Breakfast of champions. Yep. So I can tell you that
I would love it if we used to receive, I'm not sure if I think it was this committee, the hotel room tax, and then we would also see the people that are not paying their hotel room tax. Daryl, if that is something that we can have access to, I would, $25 per day for parking. And the taxes range from 9% to, we've gone to Canada and sometimes it's up to like 18%.
Very complete and detailed. And Peggy, thanks for your thoughts and concerns, and I understand that. When I first brought this up, my biggest issue was the airport and that it needed funding. And so it seemed like
collects room occupancy tax. There's a state law, which is how I was able to get the numbers in this memo.
Right. And I see how timing could be a real issue now with what's going on with Canada. I have friends.
Was going to the airport, and Shauna pointed out that it was the sales tax on
the short-term rentals.
On the short-term rentals, and Shauna's correct, right?
Right, but there is also within the proposal, of course Shauna's correct.
Understanding of the potential impact this is going to have. So my concern is that as I understand the local economy, I'm not like really supportive of doing this if it's going to have that kind of impact. And I think we need to think carefully about it. Frankly, you know, I will say it.
Norma, does county administration have a position on this or a recommendation?
I have not spoken with Corsa about that, so
Okay.
I would not want to.
Deborah, I hear what you're saying, and I certainly understand what you're saying. But I do think that trying to return our airport to a strong sense of concern, I'm going to support it. Randy.
Yeah, it'd be, I assume that we're tracking all the hotels and what they charge. Is there?
Back. So that provides us with the average daily rate, occupancy rates, revenue per available room, supply and demand, aggregate for both the city and the county.
Tourism, to collect funds to support tourism, it sort of all goes in a circle. I have liked, since I learned about it, Mike's idea of a intercity bus hub up at the airport
Hotels have no way of influencing that, and more likely than not, they would start pushing those costs back to the guests because the impact.
Any questions for Veronica? This committee asked a subcommittee, which consists of county, and there's one student trustee who changes annually. The subcommittee met and move it forward to the legislature. Any preference about that, or just want to move ahead with it? I think that board. So I would ask Taylor to insert the name Frank Krupa in that resolution, and I'd ask for anybody who wants to.
There's a TCAP budget presentation on the 16th. I think most folks know that. Sorry?
I think it's the 18th, isn't it?
I thought it was, and I've got the wrong date.
Shauna?
I thought it was.
And rates for the state might be a little higher. We have not received anything as we go through the budget process, but, sorry. We're watching
in some parts of the state.
Between that and health insurance, it's been quite
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough, and then we're in a tight budget year. So we're watching it. I just wanted you to know we may have to second, and I don't have any other reports.
Thinking about the pension question here. I had to contribute, I think, for 10 years, and they don't have to do that anymore. So that had an effect on the pension rates too.
So we're making up for lost ground?
Always.
And here the longest.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead, Deborah.
That doesn't make any sense either, because the longer you're here, the higher your
Income tax, right?
I'm not sure about that. Daryl, do you know?
I believe you're right, but I'd have to look to make 100% sure.
I know the federal ones are not. And it makes sense then that the state ones wouldn't be either. But private pension.
Some of the earlier pension tiers. Can't help changes to the pension tiers.
Quick question, do the pension tiers for our employees, the state employee retirement system, the same as for the teachers' employee retirement?
To Daryl Tuttle, our Director of Finance.
Good morning. I don't have anything officially to report. My staff is just working along. Other than
First, worry about how secure it is. And secondly, what happens if there's a problem with the cloud? Do you lose all your data?
To Lauren, I think at GO.
What did he say?
And his response was that the cloud is very well protected.
How to work. So that's why I mentioned to Rich, when you do those agreements, if they're complicated, make the person who's getting this agreement pay for us to process them. So that was my thought on that, is part of the actual, so if they're supposed to be paying it, is it Airbnb? that would have to collect it and pay it? Is that how it works? Or whoever it may be? Whether that's what it's going to be?
That was an estimate by our, by Nick and his team.
For the consortium, basically to see where we are, what we're gaining from it, and where we may be able to do better. That includes the number of claims, the number of high-cost claimants, the stop loss, the pharmacy. Make sure you're included in the communications. Second of all, our employee picnic. We have our survey results.
We allocated extra money. How many of our staff brought a +1?
I have those numbers, but not with me. That will be in that report.
Okay.
I believe, if I can remember, there were 400.
6 on our vacancy page. 20 of those are county titles and 36 are for our municipal partners. I'm using titles, not positions, because some of those are multiples. We onboarded 11 new staff and off-boarded 7 for the month. As far as our benefits, we had 4 people sign up for the dental, 1 for the vision, 9 of those, and then Sharps and Narcan training will be coming up as well. And that's about it. Any questions?
Larry, I wondered...
Maybe a couple in process of coming on, but that's the best we can do, is just take a snapshot of the last day of the month.
Okay. I think that in the budget presentation that Corsa provided, he mentioned 790 just would end up being.
I can provide that. We can definitely provide that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an audit report, but I'm not sure.
It's in the budget. Yeah, it's in the.
Nice report. Thank you both. We have a resolution scheduling a public hearing on the 2026 Tompkins County Budget and the 2026-2030. About this proposed resolution?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today. So this was brought before the Public Safety Committee, our last Public Safety.
The murder of Charlie Kirk, and they're obviously thinking that it is politically motivated. We also heard about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, of the.
Anyone else? Randy?
Yes, Michael and Jamie, thank you for putting this together. Yeah, I agree. It's scary. Every time this door opens behind me, I'm just kind of going, oh boy, you know. And I don't like it being behind me, and I'm just trying to think if there's some way for us to control.
I think Katrina might have a comment on that.
Staffing in order to do that.
So my last question. So is this all for this building?
No. In order to accommodate the needs of the evening meetings that the legislature has and a public safety presence in.
Shauna?
I just had a few more questions as far as coverage. We know that probably in the next 6 months, we're going to have 2 departments. And so that's why I'm asking. I just want to make sure that our assessment and that they're protected out there as well.
That's a fair point.
Thank you.
Well taken.
Deborah?
Yeah, Shauna raised the point I wanted.
Added to the 2026 budget and has been supported in the county administrator's recommendation.
Okay, anything else? Are we ready to vote? Those in favor? Any?
To support the agreement in the 2026 budget, so this will not increase our tax levy over what's been presented to the legislature, and I can try to answer any other questions that folks might have.
But there was some question this time, and they had to check to see if Medicare would cover it or if we'd have to pay the deductible. Well, as it happens, Medicare does cover it.
I guess in hearing that, would it be an option for the county to have a clinic for people that are unable to afford vaccine? I mean,
need for working from home or some of those other things that we did during the pandemic. So yeah, we'll work with that. We'll work on it and let you know.
Thank you.
It wasn't really conducive for the consortium to continue to offer that.
I do know it's been in the papers that 2 large drug chains CVS and Walgreens had a
control. So we got to figure, I don't like some of the cuts, obviously, that are happening. But I think that we need to look at this, and these pharmaceutical companies that are making billions of dollars, billions and billions.
Argue that the vaccine didn't help end the pandemic.
Especially certain populations.
Yes.
Yes.
Deborah, thank you for bringing this up. This is something event, and I think we should think about that. Doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but by people who were dedicated to in hatred of our vigilant and why we have to come together. I can't think of a time where we were more together than we were then, and I can't think of a time that we're more separated than we are right now. Thank you. Veronica.
Adding on to that, and thank you, 2 mornings ago at the NISAC conference, some of us got to hear Dr. Gregory Wee speak on this issue, talk about trying to communicate like what really happened on that day and the effects that we don't think of necessarily lasting afterwards, like Shauna spoke of, for some of those reasons, like
10:15, so we've got through it an hour and 15 minutes, and I think we're adjourned.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt.